Welcome to the age of Torus and Unity. I want to make a video about, it's often called moon math. It's basically the potential of these protocols. There are plenty of videos by our great founder, Mr. Cryptographics and Mr. Aether Charles. And in the description to the video there will be some links to that where you can do your own research. Don't trust me or believe me. I just found this project for myself in July. I guess Torus was started, and 6 weeks later Unity started also. Torus is on Ethereum and Unity on Pulsechain, and Aether is a platform which is still to come in 2 months maybe. Today is the 6th of January, and some data here in the presentation is from 2 days ago, but it's valid. Let's go through it. I just want to give you an overview what you can calculate in different scenarios and why you can assume that these tokens will do some massive access, although they are not designed for a quick pump. They are long-term projects, hold. Still, a lot of access can be made, and I want to show you. Pay attention to my mouse cursor. It should be highlighted. It's my first video, guys, so I hope you can enjoy it. And yeah, cycle 2 ended on Torus, so in each project you can stake, or in first cycle you could create. Now you can stake for 88 days. And 4 days ago, second cycle, so 176 days on Torus were ended, so second cycle ended 4 days ago, and that's why also I have some reliable data, because I had also a stake which ended yesterday. It went for 88 days, and that's what I will take into calculation to count the access, because I have reliable data now after second cycle. So let's go through it. This is just my logo, by the way. And these are the sites where you can go, the DAPP actually. So basically we have 3 multipliers. Why I call the video triple moon math. It's not just one factor, it's 3 of them. So let's go step by step. The first factor is the paired token. Each Torus and Unity each of them is paired with just one token. There's only one liquidity pool. Like, you can make your own, the users can make their own with the tokens, but the protocol has one big LP with TitanX with Torus and Pulsechain with Unity. So let's assume we have a bull run, presumably this year. That's what I'm expecting, non-financial advice, of course. But regardless of when, and you can argue a lot when and how many access, but to calculate I need to make an assumption, and I'm fudding here, I know. Or maybe not, who knows, I don't know. Anyway, I will just assume we make a 50x And I don't want to make two videos because the tokenomics between Torus and Unity are same. They are, the difference is they are on different blockchains, on Ethereum and Pulsechain. So you have the difference on fees, transaction fees. They are slightly more expensive. Sometimes they are way more expensive, but usually it's okay. And in Pulsechain it's really cheap transaction fees. And the second difference for me is just the community is different. So in TitanX ecosystem you have different community than in Pulsechain, or specifically with the PulseX token. Anyway, regardless of when, you see here when I expect it. I hope you can see my cursor here. Not sure though. So anyway, 50x. That's the assumption here. Yeah, I'm sorry for the overlay here, but anyway, the price of PulseX, you can see it here, but if it makes a 50x, it goes up to this price, and TitanX here goes up this way. So 50x, that's the chart, and that's the first multiplier. That's pretty simple. Not many calculations, it's just an assumption. You can do it for yourself. Like I will have on the last slide with calculations, I will have a summary, and if you have a different opinion, how many X's will be made in each ecosystem, you can replace the number with whatever you are comfortable with. It's just for simplicity also, like I make also the same calculation, because some guys ask, oh, you made a calculation for Torus, can you make one on Unity? Basically, I made already a calculation, and I also want to keep it similar or same, because I don't know which ecosystem runs more. So let's keep it simple. That's also a good motto. I like to keep things simple if it's possible. So the second multiplier is the floor ratio. What is the floor ratio? That's the design of the project, basically. That's really the center point. There's a lot of tokenomics behind it. But if you take a close look on the chart, you can see a blue line. The blue line is the floor ratio. And if you look closely, you can see that it is rising. And on the first look, it looks like it rises in a straight line. But it's not. And I also thought that it is a straight line because it looks like one, right? And I didn't paint it it's precise. It's not approximately, it's precise. So 10 million, in this case it's Torus, and for the Unity guys, don't be afraid. This presentation includes Unity also, or the other way around. For the Torus guys, don't be afraid. So for me, both projects are same tokenomics at least, and same calculation on the moon math, if we assume on the first multiplier it's the same 50x. So anyway, on Unity chart it would be not 10 million, it would be 100,000, 100k on the first day. So on the first day, one Torus was worth 10 million TitanX. And from that day on, this ratio is rising slowly, 0.08% each day, daily. There is a formula I will show you, but what I want to say here, it's rising over time, and that's the target of the price. So in these projects, you have a price target perpetually. It's changing slowly, as you can see, it's rising slowly. Well, today it would be around 11.5 million maybe, so slowly is also relative, but it's at the start it's rising slowly. What I want to show here is, by the way, a big shout out to our friend Mr. Martin, Max King. Martin is a guy who makes a lot of graphics. In Telegram chats he's very helpful and active, and you don't have to read all these texts. I just wanted to show you how this floor ratio is rising over time. So currently we are in Torus somewhere here, so it's not perfect. So actually this is day 1, and this is the end of 1 year. So each number is a year, so we are somewhere here currently on the chart. I hope you can see my mouse cursor. I really hope. Yeah, anyway, as you can see, it rises exponentially, and on Unity it's the same. So, and also the order that first I show Torus and second I show Unity is just the chronography. So Torus was started first, that's all. That's why I show it in this order. And I also, as I said, I have more data on Torus because more time has passed since the launch. So anyway, it's rising exponentially, the floor ratio, and the project tokenomics are designed to reach it. We don't know, we have to believe or hope or whatever. Of course, you don't have a guarantee, there's everywhere a risk, but the tokenomics are designed to reach this floor ratio. And I can recommend you to do your own research, because it's quite interesting also, because, you know, in many projects, there are a lot of projects with legit people and so on, but it's interesting what's behind, what, like how it's designed to reach the floor ratio. For that purpose, I can recommend you a stream of Cryptographics. That's the founder. He has a lot of streams. In the video description you will have all the links, and this stream from October 2025, a couple of months ago, I think he explains it pretty well here, how it's designed, expected, or however, to reach the floor ratio. And here with blue arrows, I think it's useful to see that if we rise, or when we rise above the floor ratio, it's this blue line here, it's the floor ratio. So if we rise above, the project is designed to pull it down. So basically their creating becomes more profitable than staking again, like in cycle 1. So basically here you also see here from the start, the first cycle was here somewhere, and creating was profitable, basically here. And here still, like at this point, it still was more profitable creating, as at the moment when the ratio to TitanX tokens, and I forgot to say this, we don't look at the price. Of course, it's up to you, but the price is relative, it's changing, and the ratio to the TitanX tokens or PLSX tokens By the way, this is the Unity chart, but Torus looks similar here. So when we go below the blue line, the floor ratio, staking becomes more profitable, and the project is designed here to go up again. So this blue line here, blue arrow, sorry, here it shows that we are meant to go up to reach the flow ratio. Okay. So to do your own research, I also recommend you the brand new update. It's the Algorithmically Stabilized Hard Asset, ASHA, and there's a lot to this. It's a revolution of the monetary of money, basically. And today, by the way, on the 6th of January, there will be a stream of cryptographics and Aether Charles, and there will be more information on this, because we don't really know how this Aether upgrade will exactly look like, but I kind of know, I already was able to calculate, which I will show you. And here is just the thinking. And at the start, when I started with Torus and Unity, I wasn't aware about how deep this goes, and this could blow the minds of people. So there is a summary with 2 pages, which I can recommend to everyone. And if you like to read, there is also 49 pages of academical text. So I like also this academic approach. It's something new in crypto space. It's not just a meme coin. As you can see, there's a lot of thinking behind it, and it's a vision, yeah, right? We don't know how it plays out. Some people are fudding, some people are celebrating. It's like always. But there is a lot of potential here, and I share this vision. It's up to you. But long story short, we want to calculate. So here also you have both Torus and Unity, so no one here is getting more love than the other one. And the formula which I mentioned is basically the ratio on first day. So in Torus it's 10 million TitanX on day 1, and there's 0.08%. If you put it like this in the formula and multiply it with the days, then you know exactly what is the floor ratio today. Like on the DAPP, if you go to these DAPPs, you see on the right upper corner, if you enter the DAPP, you see the day, the current day. So you can put it in the formula, and then you know exactly how many TitanX tokens should one Torus be worth on that day, on that given day. So on day, I think that was 2 days ago, something, day 179 on Torus, it was not at the floor ratio. We are below currently, because the projects are very fresh. So it will also take some time to reach the floor ratio. That's the dynamics, how they are designed. But of course, or maybe not of course for people who don't know, but the projects are most volatile in the starting phase, and we are currently in cycle 2. And by the way, in this stream I mentioned before, cryptographics mentions also an assumption when it maybe could be reached. It's not a promise, and it's all, you never know how the market plays out, but I would expect it at earliest after 7 cycles, so 1.5 years. It would be Q1, Q2 of next year. Anyway, Anyway, if we assume we reach it, or we want to reach it, from current price levels or token ratio level, it would be a 19x. I'm sorry, you don't see it right now because I am in the way and I can't move myself away. But basically behind my picture you would see a blue arrow, and this is not 1, that's a 19. So basically the second multiplier is 19x. So the third multiplier is token ROI from staking or from creating in first cycle, but currently we are below the flow ratio, so staking is more profitable and everyone is staking, of course. So what are the points here to make a calculation? Because this is always also very often asked, how many tokens I earn on staking and what's the ROI. And here is what I did. I'm not considering cycle 1, it was too volatile. And let's make something clear. On the DAPP you see some ROI percentage numbers, and these are not the token ROI numbers. Please don't mix it up, and I will show you right now what I mean. So just to make this clear, there's two different ROIs. The ROI on the DAPP shows you the USD ROI including the staking fee. So it calculates how much you had to spend as a fee to stake and how much USD you earned on that day when you started, and when you end the stake it's another value because the price fluctuates. It's basically fluctuating every day, it's changing, I guess. So even after you ended a stake and you see your ROI after the stake, you see the cost value and the current value, exactly, and that's changing. So the cost value should not change, but the current value is changing. So anyway, I am not relying on the ROI on the DAPP, I'm sorry, because here also what you have to understand, I want to calculate how many tokens I can accumulate if I stake. And that's the third multiplier. And that's what I can calculate properly, and that's what I do. So here, interesting information. How many X's we do on tokens, and I am making, or I guess every one of you is making 4x on tokens in cycle 2. And I hope this is clear to you how this is calculated. So you have a principal, certain amount of tokens which you want to stake. Then you pay the fee. I am not calculating with the fee, I'm just calculating the tokens. I will show you though something about the fee, how it develops, like how much more expensive it gets every cycle if you restake the tokens every cycle. So that's pretty interesting, I guess. And here I just want to make clear how I calculate the X's, because you might have a different understanding of this. Here the understanding is principal plus what I earned, and I earned three times more the principal. So in sum it's a 4x. If I just take a look at my principal at the start and what I have after 88 days, it's around 4x. Look here. And yeah, here I want to show you this because this is not the ROI which is shown on the DAPP. On the DAPP you have around 200%, and 200%, I'm sorry guys, you don't see the price here, but I wanted you to see me so that we can be friends. Yeah, I thought it was nice if you see a face, not just a video. It's more personal. Anyway, 200, around 200%, right? It's not interesting for me. Like, if you want to calculate, you can try. You have here the values. Actually, here you see the value. And also, by the way, the screenshot here, I guess I made it like it is fixed, I guess, the screenshot. After I claim, I guess the screenshot does not end. I have to test it. Anyway, here you see in the upper line you have slightly different numbers on cost. So basically the cost also changes. Okay, so anyway, it's fluctuating. Yeah, so I'm not relying on the dollar numbers and on the ROI number. I'm not relying, and I don't recommend you also. I only rely on the number of tokens because that doesn't change. You can see here how many I had at the start. Here you can see at the bottom, you can see how many I earned, and in sum it's 9,520. And if you calculate how much more these 9,500 are to 2.2 thousand, it's a 4.2x. It's a 4.2x. Of course, you had to pay the fee, but I'm not considering the fee. I'm just considering how many tokens I can earn in the system. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, just be patient, guys. I will show you something about the fee because this question comes again and again. You will not miss out on information about the fees and how it develops. So why is this interesting? Because this 4x, because I want to calculate how the x's develop over time with each cycle. We know that the x's go down because you get less token payouts every day. It declines by 0.08%. So it's less supply coming out every day. It's like a declining curve. And the floor ratio is rising. And I think Cryptographics posted this yesterday in the chat also. It's counter lines, like the one goes down, one goes up. Anyway, don't overcomplicate it. My assumption here is after 5 years, you only earn 5% on tokens each cycle. That's an assumption. I heard Cryptographics talking about institutions being incentivized to use these projects at some given point in time in 10 years or whatever, in 5 or in 20 years, we don't know. But why would they be incentivized? Because there is a yield of, let's assume, if each cycle you make 5%, it's 20% in a year, because one cycle is like 3 months. So that would be still 20% of a kind of guaranteed, because the project stabilizes over time, so there's less volatility. That's nice, it's secure for an institution, and it's a relative high ROI, 20% yearly yield. It's more than bonds or something else. So I'm assuming after 5 years we earn 5%, which is 105x. What did I do? I used ChatGPT to make this chart. and I'm again sorry guys, you don't see something behind my video bubble, but basically these lines, these numbers end with 105x. So the end number is 105x after 21 cycles. I start with cycle 2. That's where I start, and then I go 20 cycles up to cycle 21. That's exactly 5 years. Okay, it's also not about exact numbers. It has to be an estimation, right? Because here also I could say I have 4.2x in second cycle, and after 5 years it would be 10% maybe, or 7 maybe, but it's still not a bad approximate, because I'm comparing relative to something else, which you will see right now. So what I calculated 2 timelines. For example, you stake 3 cycles from cycle 2 to cycle 4, or you stake, I guess, yeah, it's 6 cycles, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 cycles from cycle 2 to cycle 7. So that's 2 timelines which I am looking here at, and what I do is basically, it's not science. So I just multiply. If I take a look at cycle 2, 3 and 4, I have 3 multipliers. It's 4, it's 3.728 and 3.4748. If you multiply them, that's what you earn on tokens if you stake, if you restake, and you do that 3 cycles over. That's how many X's you make on tokens. And now you will ask, what about the staking fee? Well, what is about the staking fee? Here you have a calculation. If you are restaking, example, with 1000 tokens, so let's assume you start with 1000 Torus, it's not even much. And basically that's already the result from this. You require more and more money or fresh capital for staking. So here you see how it develops over time. Here you even see all 6 cycles which I'm calculating in this whole presentation. Of course, if you want to go longer, you can, and I will. I mean, I want to participate long time span. This is a long-term project. I want to see how it develops over time. If you get out after 4 cycles, the projects are not matured yet, and you already get out. So it's up to you. But at least I want to reach the floor ratio, and I would, for example, I can assume it to happen maybe at cycle 7, maybe at cycle 4. That's very optimistic, but it will be a bull run maybe, so maybe we reach it at cycle 4 or cycle 7, or we never reach it, we don't know. So we have to wait and see. Anyway, here you can see how much dollar, and this is with current prices. So if the price of TitanX or PLSX rises, for example, makes it 2x, you can make a 2x on all of these dollar numbers. The number of tokens which you need doesn't change, but if the token which you used to stake goes up in price, it costs you more. So basically it would be great to buy tokens now if you have the money. And you can calculate this. You can type in you can type in some numbers like here, like I just used the DAPP and then I noted these values, right? And then you can estimate how many tokens, like what's your target, because some people want to make a whale position. Okay, if that's your target, and currently you can say you need around 45 grand. Or let's make it 40, because like if you sum these dollar numbers, if you sum it up, it's around 45k, and it would be 1.4 million tokens if you restake. You can as well buy like around, I think 700 or 800 tokens, buy it right now and pay $45,000 to stake it, and then you are already a whale. So if you have some $45,000, go for it. I think we don't have that money, and that's the point where we struggle right now, right? But anyway, that's the current price of a whale position. A whale position exactly will be 1.25 million, because the end supply is 125 million. Though it's getting burned, we already burned 3 million Torus and almost 2 million on Unity. So it's going down. It's not 1.25, it's 1.22 million on Torus to be a whale. And this, like, tokens will be burned perpetually. As long as we stay below the floor ratio, we burn a lot of tokens. So what I want to summarize here, if we take a look at participation in cycle 2, 3 and 4, and you have the money to restake with however tokens, I'm not considering that, I'm just considering how many X's on tokens you make. That's a 52x. So if you started with 1000 tokens and you used around, how much is it, 1,300, no, I think it's $1,200, so not crazy amounts, but yeah, if you have it, go for it, and then you make 52,000 tokens out of 1,000. Not too bad, right? If you participate in 7 cycles, you need a lot of money. If you restake everything with fresh TitanX or Pulsechain, then you make crazy X's, but of course, or I assume, we don't have that money, and that's why we have an update, a possibility to earn with Aether. It's an update, as I mentioned. It's not out yet, but it will be soon, in 2 months maybe. And what it gives us, it gives us a possibility to earn at least a part of these X's. A part means, here you have in comparison on the chart, you have different numbers. So basically, if you stake on your own, you have the best performance here, the upper line, and if you use Aether, which just means, it's really simple, it means that somebody else provides the staking fee for your token. So you are the staker, you have the tokens to stake, but you don't have the fee, and the depositor pays for it, so he gets, I assume he gets more than a half. But that's also an interesting point. I have some assumptions on that also, but let's not overcomplicate it. Here I'm assuming that the staker who provides the tokens to stake, he earns less, definitely less than 100%, So maybe it's 50% or 40 or 45 or 33. And here you have the access on that. You just have the overview. So if you earn just the half of the tokens, then it's the red line. So if you multiply these numbers, the first 3, you get a 7.2x. The first 6 numbers, because it's cycle 2 to cycle 7, it's 37.7x. And if you only have you only get 45% of the tokens earned, it's different numbers, and 40% is what we assume currently what we might earn as a staker, as a token provider, Torus and Unity token provider. We don't know if it's 40 or if it's even less, but however, there are some excess to be made still, and I prefer doing it this way instead of selling to stake. Selling hurts the price, and I'm not sure which way I earn more. We have to wait to see that, but here in this presentation I'm calculating with 3.5x and 11.5, so I always round it down a bit. Also the second multiplier was like 19.4 or 19.2x, so I rounded down to 19x to reach the floor ratio. And here I'm also rounding it down to 3.5x and 11.5. So these are the excess to make if you use Aether collaborative staking as a staker. If a depositor uses it, let's go back. Yeah, if a depositor uses it, he gets, so for example, you get 40% as a staker, and the depositor of the fee gets 60%, the rest. Or there's maybe multiple fee depositors, so they share those 60% among themselves. And that's a different calculation, it's with 60%. But the question is, will he, after that cycle where he provided the fee and earned some tokens, will he sell the tokens, or will he become the staker himself instead of depositor, fee depositor? So that's another story. Here I'm just showing if you are the staker, you can make these excess. So interesting would be, I guess, also if you participate longer. If you participate a couple of years, then you see the excess here. So if you restake all the 5 years in a row, it's 20 cycles. Then you make some, you need, I guess, I don't even know, it's crazy amounts of dollars, because you need fresh capital, and you also don't need that much. It's a non-realistic simulation. That's why Aether collaborative staking is more realistic also. So depending on how many percent you earn as a staker, you get these excess after a certain number of years. So even if it's only 40%, after 5 years, if we assume that you restake every cycle and someone makes the fee, deposits the stake deposit for you, then you make 135x after 5 years. Not too bad. After 1 year it's a 6x on your tokens. And it's not much, it's not crazy crazy expensive. I mean, if someone else provides the fee, it's not expensive at all for you. But I mean, right now the price of the tokens is really low. You could as well buy on the market and provide them on the Aether platform for staking. And if you find someone, then you pretty quick can earn a lot of tokens and add to your position, depending on your targets. So let's summarize. We have 3 moon multipliers, and I wanted to find a planet which has 3 moons, and unfortunately Mars only has 2 moons, but Google found an asteroid which has 3 moons. And they were discovered not too long ago, 2001, 2014 and 2021. So this is pretty fresh discovery also, these moons. So this asteroid Electra has 3 moons. And let's summarize our multipliers. We have the first multiplier, the 50x, and interesting here is the timing. We don't know when we reach or when the TitanX or Pulsechain reaches this 50x. The second multiplier is the floor ratio. When we reach it, we make a 19x from today's token ratio level. And this timing depends on market behavior. Like I can't guarantee you anything, right? But that's how the project is designed. It's designed to reach the floor ratio. We don't know when it's reached. So this is also the difficulty here. We have a bull run and we reach the floor ratio, but it's not the same timing, right? So you could multiply 50 and 19, but it doesn't happen at the same time. You have to be aware of that. And the third multiplier is, as I showed you, and I want to stay realistic here, you are not restaking on your own because it's too expensive at some point. So you use the collaborative staking and earn 40%. It's an example. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less, but with 40% it's a 3.5x and an 11.5x. And here the timing depends on you as a user, because no one forces you to use the collaborative staking. You can make an LP, you can sell to stake, you can buy to stake, you cannot stake at all, just hold tokens. But if you decide to participate, and also it's not only depending on you as a staker, it's also depending on the other guy who is bringing up the deposit fee for staking. If it aligns and you do it consistently, then you have these X's. So you have different scenarios, and I'm showing them in the order of X numbers. And basically, if you participate cycle 2, 3 and 4, and the bull run gives you a 50x on TitanX or Pulsechain, then you make a 67x overall. If in the bull run I'm sorry, it was the floor ratio. The first scenario was the floor ratio is reached after 4 cycles. Of course it won't. But that's the math here. Well, maybe it will, we don't know, right? I just expected like these 19x to appear later. So the second scenario is what I described. the bull run is there and you participated and make a 3.5x on the 50x, 175x. If we reach the floor ratio and you participate up to cycle 7, which is more realistic, you make it to 119x. If in the bull run, like for example, the bull run happens not this year, it happens next year, 2027, in Q1, Q2, like around March or April. And you participated, so you make 11.5x on your tokens, and pair token rises, it's a 575x. Okay. And so on. Floor ratio is reached and bull run is happening. That's not realistic, I think, to happen at the same time, right? So what is more realistic? Like, more realistic would be in the bull run, I don't know. I want to stay realistic here, so you have to be aware that these X's are there, they are there, the potential is there, but not at the same time. So basically time beats timing, and if you participate longer, then sooner or later there will be a next bull run, or the floor ratio is reached already this bull run, or however, the X's are there to be made. So if you have all three multipliers, it gets crazy. This is, I guess, the highest number after cycle 7 and bull run, and we reach the price floor. Like, that's best case scenario. That would be in March next year we have bull run. And also if this 50x is 100x instead, it gets even more crazy. It's then 20,000x. And if at the same point of time we reach the floor ratio and you participated every cycle, it gets out of hand. And the bonus is if you have the money bonus. If you can afford to restake on your own, then you can just do the math on your own. I didn't want to show it here, but the numbers get too crazy. You just replace the blue multipliers with these values. Okay, and last, I want to say you don't be a trader. Look how he looks over. He's not focusing on the running. The turtle is focused. The trader is sneaky. So be an investor, meaning time beats timing. Also an information, every Thursday there is a space, community space with me and Martin and everyone is welcomed. We have really great topics sometimes. And sometimes even the founders participate, but you never know. And here you can see the links, and in the description of the video you will see more information, links about the project. And that's about it. So I hope it wasn't too long. I'm sorry if it was. It's my first one. And welcome to the Torus and Unity revolution. Peace out, guys.